Let's share our screen and get going. I have some fun things to teach you today. Last time we worked on long and short sounds of U. And we talked about how U has two long sounds. It can say its whole name, U, or just that last part, oo. So its whole name starts with your mouth wide like a smile, and it goes into a pucker. U, U. The second long sound of U is just made with that last sound with your mouth already in a pucker. Oo, oo. So the two long sounds of U are U and oo. And they will come out naturally based on the shape that your mouth was in when it made the letter before it. So we don't have to concentrate to figure out which long sound it is. We just have to know that it's long so that our mouth can do the hard work. So last week's extra practice, it was last week, right? Yeah. So I'll go over last week's extra practice words in case you want to check your work. Number one, you can say them with me if you want. Number one is roughed, roughed. Number two, drump, drump. Number three, clusump, clusump. Number four, chew tub, chew tub. Number five, drumush, drumush. Number six, thutud, thutud. If it had only one T there, then it would say thutud because of the tap two rule. But with two T's, that U is going to be short. Thutud. Number seven, let me take a look. We have trunustum, trunustum, trunustum. Number eight, plusumtrup, plusumtrup. Make sure when you make a sound that begins with a TR that you enunciate both of those sounds really clearly. So it's ter and not chur. So it's not plusumtrup. Plusumtrup. Number nine, latundrum, latundrum. Be hard to pick up. Latundrum. Number 10 is flumpuck, flumpuck. Okay, let's go over to this week's. So to warm up our ears, let's talk about how many sounds we can hear in castle. How many sounds in castle? When you stretch the word, it's castle. Don't think about the letters, only the sounds. Put in the chat. Think about it. How many sounds in castle? This from the chat, it looks like this one's going to be a tough one. Take your time. Castle has 4 sounds. It starts with oh. Now, if you know how to spell it, you know that there's a lot more letters in there than sounds. So that's why it's important not to think about the letters, only the sounds that you hear. So in castle, there's 4 sounds. K, a, s, o. 4 sounds in castle. So here's what I'd like you to do if you missed a sound or two when you put your number in the chat. After I say it correctly with me or right after me so that your brain can hear the correct answer. That way you won't just end with an incorrect answer. Your brain will hear you do it correctly. So hopefully the next time will be easier. So after I say the 4 sounds, castle, castle, You do that same thing. Go asshole. So if you get it wrong, only get it. I'm not going to call it wrong. I'm just going to call it not right yet. It's not right yet until you repeat it after me correctly, and then it will be right. So how many sounds in? Trying to think if I want this to be candle or flame. Let's do flame because of that L. How many sounds in flame? Flame. Put it in the chat. How many sounds in flame? It's better this time. Yes, much better this time. Flame has 4 sounds. Full, A, 4 sounds. Full, A, Yeah. Okay, how many sounds in? No, I'm going to go for kitten. I was going to do candle, but I'm going to go to kitten. How many sounds in kitten? Kitten. Be careful on this one. It's not as easy as you think. So kitten, the first sound is voiceless. You don't hear anything. It's only air. It's just that I is next. It's made with your mouth long and narrow with only your teeth open just enough that a piece of paper can fit through it. I. Then you have t, 5 sounds in kitten. So I'll say it and then you can say it after me. I, t, So I want you to also pay attention to the shape that my mouth is in when I make the I and the A. The A sound is made with a big, wide mouth. Ah. A is made of the very narrow shape. E is right in the middle. So I, your mouth is like this. Your mouth is a medium shape. Not wide or it will come out with an A. So we have k, I, t, It, okay. So today we're going to talk about how the U and any other vowel will make its long sound if it's at the end of a word and there's a consonant and then a final E. So if there's a vowel, consonant, E, that vowel will make its long sound. And its long sound is its name. Its name is what it is. So if the vowel was E, it would say E if there's a consonant and another E at the end. E's at the end are almost always silent, except for tiny little words like be, she, we, tree, he, she, we. There's a couple other words with a double E at the end and a couple of long ones with where E says something at the end. But usually when you see E at the end of a word, it's going to be silent. So we're going to just cross that one right off. Its job, silent E always has a job. It's never there for no reason. So if you ever come to a word and you're not sure why that E is there because it doesn't make the vowel 2 doors below it long, bring it to this class and put it in the chat and I'll tell you why that E is there. Silent E always has a purpose. It always has a job. Oh, resume, that's French. Or resume is, it follows the rule, but resume is French. That's why it breaks the rule. Somebody's chatting with me on that. So you, when it comes to the end of a word and there's a consonant and then a silent E, that U is going to say either oo or U, those 2 long sounds that it has. And the long sound will come out naturally depending on the shape that your mouth was in when it made the letter before it. So let's try this. I'll mark mine, and you're free to follow along if you want. So I'm going to mark my vowels, and I'm going to cross out my final E. And I'm going to figure out what the vowels will say. Tap 2, 1, 2. No, there's not a vowel. No, it won't say its name. It's going to make its normal short sound, like upper. Here is another vowel, tap 2, 1, 2. Yes, there's a vowel there. Yes, it's going to say its name. So what we're learning today with the U consonant E follows the tap 2 rule. The tap 2 rule is a shortcut. So when I pencil read this word, it's D, A, P, U, N, Da, Poon, Da, Poon, Da, Poon. Okay, you try yours, and I'll be quiet while you work. So if you're wondering what sound that U is going to make, it's going to depend on the shape that your mouth was in when it made this P. And so it's going to come out naturally as a ooh, because your mouth is already kind of prepared for that sound. So when you pencil read it, it's ooh, ta, poot, ta, poot, ta, poot. All right, let's try number 2. Let me just spread these out. I'm going to mark my vowels. Cross out my final E because it's almost always silent. Tap 2, 1, 2. No, there's not another vowel. No, it's not going to say its name. It's going to say Tap 2, 1, 2. Yes, there's a vowel. Yes, it'll say its name, depending on the shape that your mouth was in when it made the D. D. It'll come out naturally. So when we pencil read it, it's T, R, N, D, U, T. Trundoot. 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 Try yours. So when we pencil read this word, it's R, N, D, U, Rundoop. 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 Put in the chat, please, how you did on those first 2. Okay. All right. That's great, Blair. Nice. Okay, number 3. I'll mark mine. I'm going to mark my vowels, but not my silent E because it's silent. Tap 2, I can see that there's 2 consonants there, so I know that's going to make it short sound. Tap 2, I can see there's a vowel there, so it's going to make its long sound. When I pencil read it, it's P, O, A, S, U, N. Plasoon. 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 What's hard? Cartoon, don't worry, it'll get easier. These are difficult. Go ahead and try your Yes. I can repeat the short sound for you. So before we try your number 3, let me just get a close-up of my mouth when we make the short sound for you. It's the same sound as the schwa sound, and it's a lazy sound. So your mouth is dropped and no muscles are used in your jaw or in your tongue. And I always think my face looks funny when I make it because it just looks like I'm kind of zoned out. But the sound for you is like umbrella or upper or pyre. I had to think for a minute. Yeah. So the short sound for you is All right, let's try your number 3. Okay, so when we pencil read this, remember your F is a voiceless sound, no voice, only air. R, oo, t. Fromute. Actually, fromute. So my mouth is already in the smile shape. So it's going to make that whole U sound. Fromute. 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 But since these are nonsense words, I don't know for sure. It could be mute, but it's probably mute. Mute. Let's try my number 4. I want to read that, but I want to maybe do it after class so I have time to really digest what you just told me. Okay, so I'm going to mark my vowels in number 4. The E is silent. 2 consonants means that's a short sound. 1 vowel, 2 doors down means that's a long sound. So when we pencil read it, here's a digraph. 2 letters that make 1 sound, so it only gets 1 dot. Same with 2 of the same consonants, only gets 1 dot. So this word is sh, b, shamoob, shamoob, or shamoob. Somebody said my drawing looks like a face here. I'll finish it up with a, here, we'll give it some hair. You're right. That's funny. Okay, let's try your number 4. Go ahead and mark it. So the sounds are ch, n, oo, d, chanud, chanud, chanud. Now, if these were a little tricky, it's because U is a little tricky. U is one of those vowels that usually trip struggling readers up. So we're going to practice it a lot this month, but I wanted to teach you something before we go even further that I'm kind of excited to teach you. So last week I was debating whether I should teach you about syllable division because it is so complicated. Syllable division is very complex. There are a lot of rules, but there is one part of it that is very simple. And I want to teach that to you today because it will help you in this class, and it will especially help you when you are reading out in the real world. So when you see this, a V, now not the actual letters, V stands for vowel, C stands for consonant. So when you see a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel anywhere in a word, you can divide it right between the consonants, and that will help you break the word apart into chunks that might be easier to decode. So for instance, here is a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. You can divide it right here, and then you would read the word da-poon, and then put it together, da-poon. Let's look for more. Here's a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. We can divide it right here, and then you would read trun, and then doot, trun, doot. Can you see the potential for reading ease if you can recognize a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel? There is this is a pretty wonderful reading hack that will help you with longer words especially. So let me go down to these words that we haven't read yet down here. The longer ones. So let's go to number 4. Actually, let's do number 2 first. So what I'm going to do first, it's still important to mark your vowels and figure out what those vowels are going to say. So syllable division, just so you know, is another way to determine what the vowels will say. You can learn about that for a whole year, about how you can determine what a vowel will say based on the type of syllable that it's in. There are 7 different types of syllables, and they have all of their own rules for how the vowels sound. The way I teach with the vowel placement strategy with the pencil reading and the tap 2 is a much easier and quicker way to learn. But I do want to share with you this VCCV hack because it can be so useful. So it is important first to mark your vowels so you know what those are going to say, because we're not going to go into the complicated rules that go along with the type of syllable that it's in. So then here is a VCCV. I'm going to divide it right here, and then you just have 2 little chunks. So we have blum-pewed, blum-pewed, blum-pewed. Or let's try number 4. I'm looking for a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Right here, vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. So you can divide it right between the consonants. And then you can break off this part. So here we would mark our vowels. And then we would read it sh, u, t, b. We can just read this part. Shoe tub, and then we can read this part. B, boo, boop. And then we'll put it together. Shoe tub boop. Shoe tub boop. Shoe to boop. You guys, you have to say that. That's just fun to say. Shoe to boop. Let me show you again on another one. I'll go over this a lot more, not just in this class, because I think it's going to be a good tool for you to be able to recognize vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Let's try. So I'm looking for a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Is there one here? No, consonant, consonant. There's not one. So it won't work in this word. 8. Vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Here's one. I can divide it right here. Is there any others? Vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. No, but this will help. Even if you can break a longer word into just 2 parts, it will help. So here we have a, here we have a, here we have a oo. So I know that this is going to be clus, clus. So I can leave that now. And I can just work on this part. Oot, some truth, some truth, some truth. And you can say it to yourself until it kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit, until it gets kind of in your memory. Some truth. And then you can put them both together. Some truth. Klasumtrut. That was a mouthful. Klasumtrut. And then eventually you can make longer words, break them off into smaller parts to make reading that much easier. Others that I can try here. Do you see any others? I'll let you look. Are there any others in the extra practice words that have a VCCV combo? Put in the chat if you see one. Okay, Amy found one in number 5. So let's try it. Here is her vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel divided between the consonants. I'm going to mark it. This is a this is a oo, this is silent. Now, all of a sudden, it went from a long word to from, d-oo-n, dune, from dune, from dune. Did you see how much easier that became? If you know that little trick. Now you're reading short words and then combining them into a longer word instead of one long word all at the same time. Do you see any other word with a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel? V, C, C, V. I'm going to put some in the chat, some real world examples so that you can see how this works with everyday words. Picnic, tablet. Reference them with U in it. Cute. Now this one has that U in it that we were just looking at. That's going to say U because your mouth was in that P shape already when I made the shape before it. Dispute. You can break up. There's a vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. Break it up right between the consonants. You try spelling one for me. Spell the word include. So you're seeing that U, consonant, E, which is what our lesson was on today. U, consonant, silent E. Beautiful. Okay, that one looked easy. So that silent E on the end is making the U say its name. It's making that U say ooh. That's its job. Try one more, a harder one. Institute. Institute. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat. First, I'm going to put include. We have in, we have clued. I'm going to put institute is institute. The reading class, but reading goes so hand in hand with spelling, and the reading rules that you are learning will help you to spell. So I just want to throw in some there at the end. Well done. Okay, so we've reached the end of class. Does anybody have any questions